Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the Dear Talk Show. If you guys can hit that like button on your way coming in, go ahead and hit the like button. Guys, we are here for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 10, Episode 8. That's right, Episode 8, guys. Okay, if you're not looking at the screen, I want you guys to know that this is the Copyright Act of 1976 under Section 107. This is for fair use purposes, commenting, news reporting, teaching, and you guys know my slogan, it's always that jazz. Now, with this stating that, I want to go ahead and get into this. I'm going to give my commentary throughout and just a little bit at the end. Try to make it as short as possible. It's pretty lengthy episode, so I tried to narrow it down to the meat and potatoes. You guys know how I like it. I will give a couple of clips. My source that I'm citing is Love and Marriage Huntsville off of Instagram. And let me go ahead and pull it up. You guys will be able to hear, but I will put my fair use banner up just to protect, myself and my channel. First thing, the first people that are up, let me get my notes. I had to take notes. Okay, you have Martell and Chris Fletcher. Let me go ahead and share my screen where you guys can take a look. And this is Chris and Martell. They're meeting at Martell's investment property, and he's there doing measurements, preparing to bring Maverick and also Ariane and her daughter there, but they're not there, but he's just preparing the house. Okay, so here we go. Once again, citing my source, Instagram, Love and Marriage Huntsville page.
You gonna stage it? You gonna stage it? Or
no? I'm moving Ariane and the kids in. So
do what? If you're gonna move her in your house, but if y'all don't get married, then what?
That's my girl.
You're acting like Ken now. You've been hanging around Ken too long,
bro.
You're about to. You gonna stage it? You gonna stage it or?
No, I'm moving Ariane and the kids in. So
I just wanted you guys to see Chris' face again. Okay, so that's all they gave us on their channel. So I just wanted you guys to see, just to get a feel for the the flavor of what's going on. So Chris told Martell, he said, they began to talk about Marceau, and he was like, Chris said that Martell and Marceau are like two big bees, but he said the word two big bees, and so Martell was like really serious. I can tell that Martell this is his family now. If anybody feels that he's still longing for his ex, I don't see it. I think that he's making the proper moves to go ahead and solidify, his family. And the one thing Chris didn't say on the clip, Martell was like, yeah, I'm moving them in. And he was like, you're moving in. Chris asked Martell, was he moving in too? And Martell was like, no, can't do that until we get married. And Chris was like, oh, you really starting over. So, but I liked the little banter between them and everything. And, Martell was telling Chris, like, Marceau hasn't shown that he's friend quality. He was basically in a roundabout way stating that, Marceau because Chris was like, when is this going to end? When is this going to get better? So let's see, Martell. Oh yeah, I wrote a little side note to remind myself, and I really like seeing Martell. In this, I like seeing him. By himself, in his element. I feel Martell is, for me, my opinion. I feel he's. I really like to watch him. He's TV worthy. And when he was in the beginning seasons and the episodes, you know, it's hard to see someone in a different light when they're at their worst. And when he was spewing out all those things that he was saying and doing, and now that he has, he's really moving forward in his life. I think I really would like to see him in this light now better than see the other person. So I'm gonna say that and I'm gonna keep going because y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, let me go ahead and stop sharing. And so next you have Ken and Will. Will comes over to speak with Ken because Ken and Trish are having problems. You know, Trish wasn't there at the time, but Ken sat down on the couch and Will sat down and he was like, he's speaking with a couple of realtors because he's really thinking about cutting his losses. And well, he didn't say cutting his losses. I'm stating that. But anywho, Will was like, well, what's going on? And he was like, he feels like Ken feels like he's really giving everything to everybody in the house, but he's getting nothing in return. And he said that even after the divorce and everything, she still has issues. And for him, he just don't see it getting any better. And then he also said, let's see, he said he might take a step back. Will was like, word? He was like, yeah. He said he might take a step back. And then Ken said, and for me, I wrote this note. And when I wrote the note to myself, Ken stated it. I was like, okay, wait a minute now. I said, Ken, you move too fast. And Ken said that, he he probably moved a little bit too fast. And when he didn't say what I said, he moved too fast. He stated that he's doing everything like she's his wife. And that's what I was gonna say in my commentary. This is the thing, Kim, for me. Everybody like what they like, but maybe you really need to just get a woman that's single with no children because you are more in that relationship more for with the kids. But based on what I'm gonna tell you guys, what was said when Sharon, Destiny, and Trish sat down, um, Trish got to decide what she gonna do because it's not a good look. Excuse me. So, anywho, Ken started talking about it's a process to leave, and he was like, because when I leave, I'm taking. We're gonna split things up, and we're gonna do this and do that, and for me, I wrote a note to myself. I said, that those are not just red flags for me. Those are fireworks, and it's like pew 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 pew, like fireworks shooting everywhere. Because think about it, Ken started the conversation off with Will. I thought he was talking about when the season ended, but there was another situation that happened, and they didn't really go into detail when he was talking with Will, but they went into detail. The production showed with Trish because the way Ken was stating, because you could see Trish walking in that addition that they added on in the gym. And so Ken, Will, and some other dude, they were powerlifting and everything. And as a woman, you just walk through, you just walk through and stuff. And Trish, she said that the way production put it, like she cursed or something. But Ken was like, "You're not gonna give me a kiss." And my whole thing is like, how can I say this? Because every couple and everybody's different. But you got some men that they like to show off a little bit in front of their friends or whatever. It was hard to tell if Trish really, because baby, when I said Trish was moving through, it was almost like she was a one of those Marvel characters, baby. It was almost a blur. She was like, pew. And so, but so that's where it started from. And then Ken, they were showing in production was showing like they got into it, a big mess. And so both of them stated that they're taking a break from each other. But Trish, listen, Trish, you did the same thing with your husband. Y'all took a year break or whatever, but he went upstairs. A break is like, how are you taking a break and the person is still in the house? Because even Will was like, okay, and even Sharon was like, okay, they looking. But the thing about it is that Ken was like, she needs a lot of therapy. Ken, if you know she needs a lot of therapy, I mean, it's done now. I mean, and you guys are not gonna like my analogy, but I'm old school. Like, why buy, why buy the cow when he getting the milk for free? But kind of you need to switch it around because it's not Ken. Ken is the cow, but it's normally that saying is for a woman. But why should Trish marry him when she getting everything and she's not even needing to marry him? So for me, Ken, no point intended. I did not try to call you Ken. It just came out because my mind's somewhere else. If I'm gonna call you that, I'm gonna call you that. But I could tell he nervous. I think that even before you guys brought this house, I think even if you had to move into an apartment or something, or stay in the house, or whatever the case may be that she was in before y'all moved, I don't think you guys should have made any type of decisions like this about purchasing a house and all this stuff, because you're intertwining your assets and all this stuff. I don't like how Ken continues to try to make it seem like, and he knows he's living with her, but it seems like he makes it seem like she's going to be destitute if he leaves. And he stated, he didn't use those words, but he was telling Will, he was like, it ain't gonna be the same if I leave. It's not gonna be the same. So, Trish, you need to pretty much put put that into play. But my whole thing is that he's always going about wanting to snatch stuff. So, anywho, moving on, I want to share this with you guys. The next scene is Macy, who is 13, which is Tisha and Marcel's daughter, and Mila. Mila's not there. I'm sorry. Just Macy and Marcel. I'm sorry. Not cutting that out either. But anywho, let me go ahead. Let me take this down. I want you guys to hear. I've cited my source before, but I'm going to cite it again. It's still on the Love and Marriage channel on Instagram. So let me let you hear Marcel speaking with Macy. They're having pedicure. Well, they're having a pedicure done and everything. But let me let you hear them have a conversation.
I even agreed to talk to Byron. Did I not?
No, you said Byron has to talk to you.
I said, in order for you to call yourself dating my daughter, you're going to have to call me up and talk to me. Mom dated a guy from the time she was 13 till she was in high school.
Mom said she didn't start dating until high school.
Oh. Mom dated a guy when she was 13 from the 7th grade up until she graduated high school. They went to prom together and everything.
Oh.
And Dad swooped in and snatched.
You? Like you?
Because I had that riz. I rizzed her down.
Dad rizzed mom down. I rizzed your mama.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I actually need to go.
I rizzed your mama.
I rizzed your mama.
Okay, so whatever. Your mom likes it.
I even agree.
Okay, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of the clip. So, anywho, I really love this scene, and I don't even think I'm going to do justice to it, based on what I'm, going to say. It was a great scene for. It doesn't matter if you're a black father, whatever part, dad, father. This was a really good moment that you guys are not going to see unless you go and watch it. But if you could, I mean, it's a great scene. It was really heartfelt when he was speaking with her. But before I get into telling you guys about that scene, Marceau was asking Macy, like, on a scale to, like, I guess I can't remember if he said 1 to 10 or whatever, but he asked, like, where would he land, like, in how he, who him or either Tisha. And she was like, Macy said 8 or 9. Then she was like, no, 6 or 7. He was like, wait a minute, how I'm going down? He was like, well, how about your mom? She was like a 10. And he was like, really? He was like, she was like, yes. And he was like, yeah, she's a 10. And he was like, when you think of your mom, what do you think of? And she said, foundation. And it was really good in that moment that Marceau did not look at it like, oh, puff his chest out, I should be the foundation. He agreed with her. He agreed with her that, Tisha, is the foundation. So, Marceau had, I wish they would have played it on there. That would have been more of a defining a moment. That's cute too, what I showed you guys. But if they would have put on, Marceau was speaking with her, and it was a serious moment where he had her to tell her to look at him, and he let her know, like, he will forever be there for her. There's nothing that she can do or any of her siblings can do that would stop him from loving her or being there for her. Even if she goes, and do something, he said, I'll be upset, but still make sure you call me. I'm coming. And I'm paraphrasing, but it was so heartfelt and what a young teenage girl needs to hear from her father. Like, kudos to you, Marceau. Kudos. That was really, really, really good. I really like that. So let me go ahead and stop sharing. Let's see here. I want to stop sharing. Oh, you know what? I didn't know I had that one there. So okay, so Tisha, Destiny, and Sharon, which is Sharon is the friend that is not Tisha. I'm so sorry, y'all. It's getting late. This is almost past. I'm about to go to bed. It's Trish, Destiny, and Sharon is Trish's friend. I'm gonna let you guys hear. I didn't know they had that clip there, but I seen it. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys hear what just a little bit what they had to say, and then I'll come and give my commentary.
I will say this. I don't like when King get mad and where he go, but at the same time, I've seen him really love you and care about you and the kids as if they're his own. And baby, you don't find that a lot out here.
Ooh, you better tell her again.
When y'all both like get to a level, you really get nowhere. You can't match energy. You can't match energy.
Oh man,
You
just
can't.
put me down.
Okay, before I let that play, the thing about it is that there's a lot of context that is not shown on here. And when they first sat down, Destiny was, letting her know that, she was sorry about missing her birthday, and also had a gift for her daughter. So, Trish told them about that her and Ken is on a break. And so Destiny was like, well, did you move out? And she was like, no, I didn't move out. So Destiny asked Trish, let me look at my notes. Destiny asked Trish, what is like her problem with Ken? Like, what is the real problem? And Trish said his aggression. She said, with his aggression and her trauma, it doesn't match. It doesn't match well. And so Trish began to tell them about the situation that happened when she got home. And, Ken was being aggressive, like, because when Trish walked through, and that's what most women will do, they'll speak and they'll keep going. But production put almost like Trish, I thought it was Trish cuss, but it was Ken. So, and I don't know if Ken was trying to show out. I don't know, because Ken gives me that thing like he's pumping his chest out or whatever. I don't know. Shit, it don't mean. Oops, I cussed. I'm sorry. I'm getting tired. I'm not cutting that out either. But anywho, Trish said once that happened and she didn't give him a kiss, he came behind her going off, woo, 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 woo. Well, give me all my stuff back. Once again, talking about his stuff. But listen to this. Trish said when he said that, Xavier, which is the son, came down and threw the keys down, his car keys. So what that tells me, if that, and I'm not going to say a child because he's over 18, that young man did that, that means that Ken been in there wilding the blank out. He's been in there acting a plum fool, always hollering about his stuff. Trish, you better really, really, really pay attention and start making moves that's going to benefit you and your kids and get your stuff together. Because when a person, I don't care if it's a man and a woman or a woman doing it, when a person starts throwing, I'm my stuff, I did this, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna da. Baby, they're not doing it because they love you. That's more of ownership, buying things, buying you. So for her son to come down and throw those keys like that, he didn't throw them at Ken, but he threw the keys and went back upstairs. That means that young man and Ken had said it more than once, and we know he said it more than once. So Ken, I don't know what your problem is. You should have just got your own place. And y'all, as a man, I would have had her to get her own place. And I'd have been like in a year or two, you ain't got a divorce. You do what you need. There's no way I would have went and did a house and you doing all of this stuff. And then Ken wants to bring up when he was talking to Will, like, I'm with some other man's wife. Like, okay, you just realized that, bro. You just realized that. But let me go ahead and let this play.
What does that do for you?
Because it just made it
for the second. I will say this. I don't like when Ken get mad and where he goes.
Okay. So there's a lot of stuff that we're missing. There's a lot of stuff that we're missing when Destiny says she doesn't like, when Ken gets mad and where he goes, and everything of that nature. All I could say to Trish, the clips, the previews that show and that's coming up for the next episode, Trish is going to be speaking with Dr. Oh Lord, I just had the man name in my head. Y'all remember he took him to the cabin, him and his wife. And golly, I follow him on Instagram. Let me pull him up. I got to say his name because I follow him on Instagram, but I should have wrote his name down. Let me see, Doctor who? Doctor. I don't even see his name. What's the guy? Y'all know who I'm talking about. The one that Martell was talking to when he sat there and called Ariane that that name, and it'll come back to me. And I follow, like I said, I follow him, but I don't know what his name is. Let me see. I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to think of. But y'all know who I'm talking about. He's the black doctor. But anywho, so he's gonna, you know, come on and he's gonna do therapy. But I think she's gonna need more. I don't know how much therapy she's gonna get, but I don't know. I just think that for me, there are different, and I'm not using DV, but when you continue to use finances and things that you purchase, and you're all the way to the point of talking about you spoken to a couple of different realtors, when you're to that point, to me, that's financial amuse. That's financial amuse. That's what I feel. That's what it is. Um, So that's just how I feel. But anywho, let me go ahead and stop sharing this. And the next thing is Martell and Marceau. Martell and Marceau meets up. They meet up to have a conversation. And I listen. When I say I didn't write any notes, I didn't write one note because these two right here, who Lord, they are a mess. Let me let you hear them.
I don't want an apology. I don't want anything because you're going to backtrack. You're going to go back and
So what, bro?
You're
Let's
gonna
get past this tonight, okay?
No, you're going to backtrack.
Get
You're not
past
coming
this.
to me.
Get past this.
I enjoyed
Get
it.
past this.
I enjoyed it.
Let's get past this and let's see where we can go, okay? It's about to be a whole new everything, okay? At this point, Marceau is being a diva. I'm telling you. He's being the victim.
I'm still at the same point I was before because I've seen this Martell before. I've seen the apologetic Martell before. I've seen the I'm gonna change Martell before. And then as soon as something happens, Martell goes back to Martelling.
I don't want an apology. I don't want anything because you're going to backtrack. You're going to go back.
Okay, this is my thing with these two. I don't really see they needed to have a sit down because they sat around the fire and you know these two are never going to be on the same page because they know too much about each other's dirt. And I kind of get what Martell is coming because he wanted Marceau to say, hey, you know, I was wrong. I shouldn't have said the things that I said. And Martell, you know, Martell's not going to say that he's lying because he said he's not lying. But the thing about it is, I really don't see. I don't understand why they just can't coexist and be like, just keep it pushing, keep it moving. Keep it moving, keep it pushing. They're never going to be a place, Martell, where you and Marceau are going to double date. It's not going to happen because Ariane knows too much of y'all dirt, number one. And number two, Tisha knows this allegedly. She knows because, Ariane came out and said certain things. So I can't never see you guys going on trips and all those things. The key thing that stuck out for me with this situation is that Marceau, and I feel that Marceau knew exactly what he was doing. He was like, you know, if you and your fiance stop talking about us, Tisha and I will do the same. And I was like, Martell, you know how somebody wasn't expecting that, so he kind of looked, but he kept going. He didn't deny it. Martell peeped what he was doing, but Martell didn't deny it or anything. And Martell was like, okay, my fiance. So the cat is out the bag. She's his fiance. I mean, we pretty much kind of already knew that, but it's solidified. He did not deny it. He even said it Martell said it out of his own mouth. This is my problem with Marceau and Martell. Marceau stated in his confessional when they were sitting around the fire with all the guys, and Marcel said, you know, Martell thinks that he's better than me and this thing. To the people that know what I'm talking about will get what I'm talking about. This is not about money or status or anything of that nature anymore. That's what it was before, I feel, allegedly. When Martell had fallen from grace and Marceau had started to tick her up. What I see, this is about, and this is my opinion, I still feel I think Marceau is insecure on certain levels because even sitting at that table, even what Martell then said, all the crazy stuff that he stated, Marceau wants to trust Martell, but he feels that he can't. But Marceau, you also have to take some responsibility because you want to say when you guys were at Destiny's field day that you didn't start it, and Destiny asked the question, and Marceau, you opened the floodgates. Number one. Number two. I'll never forget in the first season I think it was the first season, first or second, but I think it was the first when everything was starting to fall out. When Martell was watching, you guys, all three, you, Marceau, Maurice, and Martell was out washing your vehicles. And when Martell was like, oh, you know, all the cheating allegations were coming out. You guys were laughing, you were Martell, you can see Martell was like, these fools laughing at me. You guys really did not make it better for yourself. If I knew someone held my secrets, I wouldn't be quiet like a church mouse, but I also wouldn't be laughing at someone else's pain, even though Martell caused his own pain. So to get back to what I was stating, this comes down to something that you can't buy. I'm going to give you an example. You have females that date or deal with older men that are out of shape, whatever, not good looking, yellow stains on their teeth, but they have money. So when those women walk in the room, that man knows that all eyes are on that woman. Okay. So this is the thing. If you're a person and your aura oozes confidence, it does not matter what you're wearing. You can have your hair wrapped up and put in a bun with 2 Chinese sticks, joggers on, slides with socks or sneakers, and a shirt. No lipstick, no nothing. But if your aura and your essence and your stride oozes confidence when you walk in, nobody don't have a choice but to look at you. It doesn't matter if, you know, I've been in rooms with women who have designer this, designer that, nails done, lips done to the guy, makeup, this, and this. And I'm just walking in with my keys in my little pocket with some jeans and a shirt or whatever. I don't care who's in a room. Unless you're God, I borderline sometimes can be arrogant. Not because that's just how I was raised. Not only raised, I know who I am. Martell had to grow into that. Martell didn't have that either. But Martell knows who he is when he walks in a room. And it has, even at his lowest, he still knew he commanded a room when he walks in. And, you know, women can say, oh, he doesn't look this. It's not about looks. It's about when you are confident but not overly to the point of arrogance. But when you walk in, you're minding your business. You don't have to look. You can feel the eyes on you. And this has, I wish anybody listening to this, if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. It's not arrogance. It's none of those things. It's something that's primal. Even as a female, it's primal. You walk in and it's an air about yourself. And I don't see that Marceau has that yet. Um, he feels he can feel, he feels himself sometimes. You can see him puffing on that cigar and all those things. But that man that was sitting at that table still knows that Martell, if both of them walk in a room, and it has nothing to do with looks, it has to do with confidence. And I'm not saying that Marceau doesn't have confidence, but Marceau is still looking and thinking, even though where he's at now, he's still looking and thinking about the person he was, because if he wasn't thinking that, he wouldn't have said what he said when they were sitting around that fire in his confessional. He was like, Martell still thinks that he's better than me. And I'm paraphrasing, but it was to that fact. It doesn't matter how much money he makes, what he drives, what he does. This is something money cannot buy you. Some of the most wealthiest men walk in, and the only reason they get noticed is because of their money. But if a person don't know they have money, they will not be looked at. You could take a man who has no money, and it's something about him, or a woman, it's something about them. And that's all I'm saying. It's hard to get someone to understand it unless you walk that walk, or it's hard, because a lot of people may think it's, oh, you're cocky, you're arrogant, you're a narcissist, or those. It's none of those things. It's effortless. You do it. It's not even you do it. It happens without you even doing it. It's just when you walk into a room, a store, go to get coffee, tea. When you walk in, you're walking in, and it's just an air about you. I don't know how to explain it to you. Only if you have it, you will know what I'm talking about. And it's not something that you feel like you're better than anyone. It's just that you do not pay attention. You pay attention because you're watching your surroundings, but you never feel like anyone, regardless of what they're wearing, what they're driving, or what they're doing, are better than you. That's all I can say. The people that know, they know. So, within stating that, let me stop sharing my screen. I don't know if Martell and Marceau will ever get their relationship back to where, I don't see it. I personally think they should just be cordial, because Martell is, rebuilding his life, building his family. Him and Ariane, they're venturing another way. And I just don't see that they're going to be, it's just not going to happen. And the way that Martell doesn't ooze that confidence that I'm talking about 100%. He oozes enough that Martell picks up on it, and Marceau picks up on it and thinks that Martell thinks that he's better than him. That's just something, and that's just, that is something they're gonna have to work on. But Martell, he was like, yeah, remember when we took those trips, when we did this? It's so much that we can do. Martell, the best that you and Marcel can do is film together. Outside of filming, I don't see y'all rocking like that. I don't. I just think that you guys still hold a lot of secrets for each other. But I don't see y'all rocking like that because y'all women will never. Well, I'm not gonna say never because hey, I'm not gonna let nobody make a fool out of me. Stranger things have happened, but these are two men. I purposely put them this way. These are two men that have went through certain things in their life, and they were really, really good friends at one time. I think there's a lot of things that happen below the belt on both sides. I think Marceau, you have to also, because Marceau is basically stating allegedly that this is all on Martell. Martell is the one. He was like, "Oh, I didn't say I did that, but I didn't say anything else. You the one started." Marceau, yeah. Even if you didn't indirectly say things, your wife did. And she could only get certain information from you. So you have to, just because it didn't come out of your mouth, it still came out of your mouth proxy through your wife. Some of the things that she stated. So you have to be accountable for those things, as well as Martell has to be accountable. I think you guys could shake and bake in Huntsville around in the same scenes and stuff. But knowing each other's secrets, I don't think that's ever going to happen again. So that's what I got to say. You guys hit the like button. If you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think. When it comes to my take on confidence, aura, and all those things, yeah, I would love to hear what you have to say. But I do know a thing or two about it. And honestly, that's all I gotta say. So you guys hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and until next time, peace and so. Mwah.